And you froze. Okay, we just went live and Shannon has froze. I'm going to give her a second to, do what she needs to do. So we were having a conversation this morning, Shannon and I asked her certain questions. And I'm actually going to, oh, she signed off. Okay. So this morning I was sharing with her hold on. There's technology for us. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. The internet did something for me.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. Technology, it's live, and I always talk about the benefits of our imperfections are so that we improve upon ourselves. So whatever this was, it's all good. So I started to share that this morning when we were talking, I also shared with you about a post that I posted early this morning. And before I get into what that was, I want to share how if you're here, if you've landed here, that means you're on social media. And it also means that you have heard before that thoughts become things. Whatever you think becomes your reality. And it's all around the law of attraction. Whatever you think, you're going to create. And then this morning, I woke up and I had this thought. And it was that, what if you only ever focused on your positive thoughts and dismissed the rest? What would that look like for you? And it's interesting because in theory, we know that. And logically, we go, oh yeah, absolutely. And yet, this popped up for me this morning because I had this negative thought just kind of float into my awareness. And I was like, what is that? And then I had that thought, what if I only ever focused on every positive thought that came into my awareness? And I asked myself out loud, I like talking to myself out loud, just so you know. Anyone who says it's a sign of insanity, they are wrong. And I'll tell you why. I'll digress a little bit. I'll go to the side. And it's because when you hear your own words, when you feel the vibration, the resonance in your body, you'll know if you're full of shit or not. You're going to know. You're going to hear it. You're going to feel it in your body, and you'll be able to call bullshit on yourself. So I do that. I do that for myself. So I asked myself, what would happen if I only ever focused on every positive thought that came into my awareness? Because I'm always having incredible thoughts. And then I thought, well, if I did that, I'd have nothing to worry about. I legit have nothing to worry about. And then I thought, okay, but what if I'm driving down the road and someone cuts me off in traffic? Or I get out of my car to go in the grocery store and the person in front of me, I'm right behind them, and they let the door fall on me. Because I'll tell you, that's happened before. And years ago, my response was, thank you. Yeah, that's who I was. However, it's like that energy is going to shift your emotional state. And the minute you let it shift your emotional state, the energy that is within you starts to vibrate at a lower frequency. And that's when you start to become aware of more negativity. You start feeling icky. You get sarcastic and cheeky. Those things become your reality. So if you were to only focus on the positive, you'd have less to worry about. Well, you don't need anything to worry about, but you'd have a lot less to worry about. So this morning we were talking, and that kind of came into play. And then we had a conversation that kind of drifted because I started to speak of, are you setting yourself up for success? Right? We say we want all these things, and then we do things that are not a reflection of where we say we want to be. And sometimes we are in such an incredible holding pattern that it's got a grip on us, right? It's holding us tight. And we don't want to let go. Oh, wait a minute. We had this conversation last week. Was it last week or the week before? The week before.
The week before, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what was coming up for you today, was that vibration. And it was talking about, are you holding yourself back? Are you saying you want one thing and your actions are the complete opposite? And it's about being open to receiving and open to giving. Giving is great. However, the minute you give, you need to allow yourself to be open to receiving. And it's important and it's pivotal to create the life you want to live. So I'm going to set up a little, share a little example. Excuse me. Take a sip of water. Obviously, it's going to be a good, meaty conversation. I used the example of, it's the equivalent of, you say this is about setting yourself up for success, right? You say that you like to have people in your house. You like your house filled with laughter and I'm saying but your house is a mess. It's in complete and utter chaos. And you look around and you're frustrated. You leave the house, you feel good. You come home, you're frustrated again. However, you keep on saying that you want your house full of people. You love people visiting. And yet, in the state that it's in, your house, the state that it's in, you don't want anyone coming in. So here you are saying one thing. It's like you're open to giving the thought out, but you're not opening to receive it. So you've got this push-pull going on. I don't know which way. Here we go. Push-pull, okay? So what happens is it's sending out mixed messages. So we have discovered over the past couple of weeks that Shannon has her own business. And we were talking about abundance, financial abundance. And we both agreed that, yes, we want financial abundance. Why wouldn't we? Because the more we love, the more we get to give, and it goes on and on. And then I asked her if she's had any outstanding invoices. I just kind of feel into conversation. I go like, oh, I think I'll ask her that question. And she said, yes, she did. And she wants to make money. You might, if you're watching this, you might want to make money, or you might want something different. However, we're going to use this example and the one I shared earlier about wanting people in your house and loving the laughter and feeling that good feeling when people are in your home, and yet not having a tidy house, so you don't want to invite anyone in, right? We're looking for that opposing energy that says, yes, I want this, no, I don't. So you have an outstanding, I'm just going to say one.
Sure. We'll go with that.
So how long has that invoice been outstanding?
A couple of weeks. Several weeks, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Several weeks. Okay, come on.
Well, I mean, if I... Right. Longer than a couple weeks. Okay. Not quite several. Somewhere in between those two things.
Oh. Okay.
Just to make it easy.
Sure. See, this is what happens when we look at things.
Yes, let's stand by while I split hairs.
Yeah. Right. So
Yeah,
we're going to be saying that it's more than 2 weeks and
that's fair.
less than
Yeah.
a month.
Yes. Yeah,
You sure?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Uh,
Not much
Just,
less, but yes.
okay. Okay. So let's just call it 3 weeks. Let's do
Sure.
that. All right. So walk me through how this order came to be.
It's I typically do have done this process of I take an order, I send an invoice, and I put a due date of that invoice on the date that I think I will ship the product. So you got to pay me by the time I'm ready to ship it. And then usually, despite not having had that invoice paid, I still ship it on the date that I had planned to ship it. So, then the product's gone and the invoice isn't paid and continues to not be paid. But it just kind of worked its way into what, like, I believe even one of the things that I said, like, I've just always done it this way. I don't want to like not do it this way because I've set this expectation and I don't, you don't want to lose clients or customers, although I don't think that would be the case either, really, if I'm honest.
Right.
But yeah, pretty much that's it. I just assume payment will come and trust that, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So can I ask how much the invoice is for?
Sure. Yeah. It's over $500.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So would $500 make a difference in your life today?
It would, yes.
Right.
Right.
So
yeah.
Now, when I suggested that you give them a call this morning and
Mhm.
say, hey, just want to touch bases with you, you were like,
Nope, I'm not going to do that. No.
no.
Right.
Right? You were very adamant that no, this is the way it's always been. And you were not going to call them. You were not, it was just not happening.
Yeah.
And so I work with you, and I know that when that energy is there, when you're adamant, and I put this to anyone watching this, when you are that strong and adamant that you will not do something, there's always some kind of old story or history that is running in the background that does not want you to move or deviate in any way, shape, or form. Now, the reality is, and this is my reality, and I believe it's most people's reality that wants change in their life, the story doesn't matter. Is it of benefit? It can be. However, it doesn't have to stop you from actually starting to make a shift and a change. Now, I want to share that with you this morning. You needed to see what the outcome would be for them, because you said, like, I've always done this, and you don't want to come off as being a negative person. You don't want to come off as being not generous.
Right. Or unappreciative as well.
Unappreciative, right?
Yeah.
So you've got all these stories. Those are stories. If I ask for the money for the products that I mailed you, I don't want you to think I'm unappreciative. Like, see, the energy is kind of funny. It's a little wonky, right?
Right.
However, what we did talk about was you're in a holding pattern. This is something you've always done. Now, for anyone watching, there are things that you probably always do, and yet you know that you need to stop doing them. Now, what I want to share with you is there is a way to make that shift that makes it easier for you. And that is, you look to see what would be the benefit to the other person. Now, at first, you may not see it at all. You might be blinded by your story, which you were this morning. However, as we continued talking, what I was sharing with you was that you're in this holding pattern. And this is the way you've done it. This is always the way you've done it. You have this relationship with this company that says, I will send you product and you can pay me whatever you want. It's not a, it's not really a great way to do business or generate income. Just saying. I know that when I go to a store, I don't say, hey, I'm just going to take this product home with me. I'll come back later. Might be a month, 3 weeks from now. I'm not getting out of the store. Now, you can be kind-hearted and still ask people to pay for your services.
Right.
So what I shared is that when you're in a holding pattern that you're adamant about, there's an old story going on, but you know it's not right. You know what you need to do for yourself. So you can ask yourself, what if I shifted things? What if I shifted things? Because here's the thing. If you're in a holding pattern and you're not moving, that means the person that you're working with, in a relationship with, in a friendship with, that person is also stuck in a holding pattern. They're stuck there. So the minute you make a shift and reach out to them and say, hey, I just wanted to touch bases with you. I have a new way of approaching business, and I just wanted to let you know because, and I'm just going to play with numbers. Right now your balance is $600. And I know in the past, I don't go after you to pay me right away. However, going forward, I need to do things differently. So I wanted to give you a heads up. And if it works for you, why don't you pay me $300 now? And in 2 weeks from now, you can pay me the other $300. And so that's a gentle and kind way of approaching it. And they may have a lot going on as well, and they're not thinking of it. And even if you send reminders, it's like they get the reminder and they're like, oh yeah, gotta do that. And then the next distraction comes in front of them and your invoice goes to the side. They don't even remember it.
Right.
So if you approach things differently and in a respectful, kind, and gentle way, everything can shift. And you get out of that holding pattern that you're in, and they're going to get out of that holding pattern for themselves. And it starts to make an easy flow of money, an easy flow of everything. Because if you're stuck in a holding pattern in one aspect of your life, you're going to be stuck in a holding pattern somewhere else in your life as well.
Right.
So once you made that connection for yourself, I noticed that you kind of softened and you were like, okay, you could see that there was a benefit to them as well. So anytime you are stuck and there's someone else in your life that is involved, whatever that relationship is, they are also stuck. And my thought is, if you're both in the habit of you sending product, them not paying, okay? If you're both in a negative habit and you both, obviously if they have your product, they realize they owe you money. But if both of you are in a negative holding pattern and you're the one who becomes aware of it, then it's up to you. The minute you become aware of it, it's up to you to address it and make that shift for yourself. Even though they owe you money, it's up to you. Mm-hmm. Because the minute it's your awareness, it might not be in their awareness. For whatever reason, it's about shifting that energy. Thoughts?
Right. No, yeah, I did totally find that along the way. Like I thought about it even a little bit more today as well. Yeah, but I definitely can see I still have a bit of a block there for me personally that I've kind of been writing down today. You know, fortunately I've got till Friday.
Right. Yes, I gave you a deadline. Yes.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, I mean, it does, and it does make a difference, but also reminds me of to look at the ways in which I am behaving in the same way as what it is that I'm getting. So where am I, not paying attention to something? Maybe even it is as specific as financially. Like, what have I not paid that I need to stop ignoring and finish paying? I mean, for a while after my first business, we were on a very tight budget. I had lost a business, and I laugh now at the thought of like even having a little bit of extra money in the budget back at that time, and making fun of my husband and I for like fighting over the little bit of money like the hyenas over a carcass, because like he needed things and I needed things, and now it's like I'm at this real, and you'd get your hands on your money and not want to let it go, like
Right.
liquid. And that was one of the blockers that I had about specifically about money, was always wanting to have the liquid. I don't want to make the payment until like the very last second that it's due. I don't, because it's money in hand. And at that time, I kind of thought that was wise. But there were things along the way that over the last couple of years that have been like, oh, well, okay, I see what that is putting off energetically. And now I'm going to go and pay the things that I need to pay. And then lo and behold, the things that need to get paid. So to me, which I have experienced as well.
So there could be some old stories from your previous business that are still like holding on to you. When you were talking, you don't pay bills till the very last possible day. I grew up with my father saying, I'm not paying anything and letting someone else make the interest on it. And for the longest time, I was always paying things on the last possible day. And even now and again, depending on what's going on in my life, that's an excuse. Ouch. Even now and again, now and then, I still pay things on the last possible date. Sometimes it's not conscious. I'm not consciously aware of it. But I will share with you that subconsciously, that awareness is there. So it's out of my consciousness, but it's still running in the background.
Right.
It's like I'll do some paperwork and I'll set it aside and go, oh, I'm going to do that in a couple of days. And at the top is that bill payment that I need to make. Right? So the thing is, whatever you put out, you're going to get back.
Right.
Now think of that. I'm going to pay this bill, then that means money's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to be monetary. As we would say in French, cash la monnaie. It doesn't mean it's going to be in bills. It could be, I just thought of something you shared with me, might have been last week, the week before, that your mom was getting rid of material.
Yes, that's right.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
So that's material that you don't have to purchase. There it is. It's like it's abundance that is coming your way.
Right.
So whether it's paying bills, whether it's not asking someone for the money that they owe you, everything is there energetically for you to wake up, to become more aware. And where are you, I'll say, not setting yourself up for success? I kid you not, like this morning, it's like, I asked myself after, I thought, well, if I only focused on my positive thoughts, what would my life be like? And I thought, effortless, abundant, I was going on, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? and then all of a sudden I'm like, bam, it's like, okay, this. I have had the most busiest day today. And the most incredible day today. Because this morning I asked myself, are my actions, are the things I'm doing, the thoughts I'm having, are they preparing me for success or are they delaying my success? And success, look, success for you may be getting the dishes done before the end of the night, before you go to bed. That would be success. It could be getting the laundry done, washed in the dryer and folded. It's not the success I have these days, but that could be success for you. So what I'm asking anyone here that's watching, and to you as well, of course, are you delaying your success? Are you paying attention to the things you need to be focusing on and following through on that will give you exactly what you want? Right? So the answer for you is no.
Right.
Right? And I'll fess up, the answer for me this morning was no. I was like, right? I have a piece of property I need to sell. And they said they need to know, they need a copy of the property taxes for the past couple of years. They need to know how much of an investment I made in the land developing, like hiring someone to put everything together and for me, so that when they go to a purchaser, that they can say this much money was invested and this is what's possible. I haven't put all those together yet. However, I did sign the contract this morning, so that's a movement forward. There are things that came into my awareness that I need to address first before giving them all the information. So I've reached out to someone that I can get that tidied up, if you wish. So it's like, what are the things that you say you want in life, whether it's financial or anything else? What are the things you say you want in life? And yet you know what you could be doing to make it come into reality, to come into fruition, and you're not doing it. And then ask yourself, why?
Or even still, like, it reminds me of this, not just switching gears a little bit, like away from business to family, not just what are you not doing, but what are you, for me, like, what was I actively doing to negate that?
Right.
Like I one of the things that I wrote down when thinking about this today was, remember Karaoke Carly when we were away?
Yes, yes.
And she was just like this big and she wanted to sing a song at karaoke while we were camping. And I was very much like, no way. I don't want anybody out here like thinking I'm a stage mom. And, you know, what are they going to think of me specifically? Like, here I am wanting to raise a daughter who is confident and will try new things and, you know, believes in herself. And fortunately, I picked up on that while I still had the opportunity to change and make space for her to do that. But it's funny to me just thinking about something that I almost actively did to deny what I actually do want.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And now she was very adamant that she wanted to do it, though.
She was very, very so adamant. And she had this squeaky little, we had been on the beach all day and she had this squeaky little voice and she wanted to sing Roar by Katy Perry, which is like, you know, just the best go get 'em song. And they didn't even have it on there for karaoke. So she just sang it from memory, a cappella. I think she was 5 at the most. She was not very old.
Yeah.
And even beyond just letting her do it when she forgot some of the words, I started singing it from the audience with her. And it was just like I get goosebumps thinking about that day. Like, that was such a huge turning point for me in my awareness of almost not having let that happen and changing a little bit who she was and allowing some sort of like this negative story for me to maintain its space inside.
Right.
Mhm.
I remember you posted the video and,
Mhm.
you know, what did I become aware of? At first, it's like, she's singing off tune.
Yeah.
She doesn't know the words. And then I started to laugh because I thought, I don't even know the freaking words. I can't remember them. And then I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? Because here she is,
Mhm.
just singing her little squeaky heart out.
Yeah.
And it was so fabulous because you could see she wasn't afraid. She wasn't scared to be there. She didn't remember the words. She kept going. And now I know why. Right? So it's like we do that for our kids, right? And we can raise our kids up. We can pull them down, and we
Mhm.
have to be mindful of that. And energetically, every day, all day, we need to be aware of, are our choices setting us up for success? Because here's the thing, and especially if you have children, if you are making choices that will set you up for success, energetically, anyone that is around you will feel that energy and they'll start making choices that are going to be setting them up for success as well.
Mhm.
And that's whether they're your children or not. They could be someone you're standing 6 feet away from. But they're close enough that energetically they can feel it. They don't have to know you. It's the energy that you're emanating.
Mhm.
Every time, every time you do something, you set yourself up for success. I'll use a simple analogy of this, and it's on Sunday I cooked. It's called shrimp and sole au gratin. It's sole and shrimp, and it's got chives, and it's cooked in lemon and butter and mushrooms. It's just divine.
Mhm.
And then it's got mozzarella cheese melted on. Okay, so I cooked that for my daughter on Sunday for her birthday. The way I set that meal up for success is I made sure I had fresh lemons, fresh mushrooms, green onion. Right. So I want you to think of your life as a recipe that you want to turn out to perfection. You're going to get everything you need. You're not going to get a few of the ingredients and then start to cook because you're not going to be able to have it turn out the way you want it to. The same way you make a decision that you want something in your life, what are the ingredients? What is required for you to make it happen? Because here's the thing, for the most part, we know exactly what we need,
Mhm.
but we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And then we bitch and complain and we don't understand why things aren't turning out for us.
Mhm.
Well, and I'm not immune. I keep on saying this. I'm not immune to that because the more you show up in your life, the more you start to unearth these little layers of crap from the past that still hold you back. And here's the thing, as soon as they start to surface, just take a look at them and go like, all right.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have to acknowledge you to dissolve you. Okay? And then when you embrace it, it disappears. Acknowledge, dissolve, embrace, disappear. It's gone. The only way you can do that is get honest with yourself and know that there are areas in your life where you're holding yourself back. You're not setting yourself up for success. So just start to consider, what is it that you want in life? Then consider, where are you holding yourself back and why? Why are you doing it? And sometimes you might have stories about other people in there. They're not holding you back. Your stories about what they're thinking may be holding you back. So
True.
Anything else?
Um, I don't know what I meant by I don't know what I meant by this. I made this note that said positive mindsets are what deliver the solutions, what I've experienced. Although I'm like, what was I thinking when I wrote that down? I was thinking about something specifically that has been something that I have noticed, like the focus. When I'm focused on the positive, that's where like the answers to whatever the situation that I might be is. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because it's that thing where you're focused. If you only focused on the positive, then anything is possible.
Right.
Anything is possible. One of the things that I wrote down here was stress and pressure. If you're in business and you want to make more money and there's outstanding invoices, it's always an opportunity. It's always an opportunity to address things differently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what can I do to improve this? Okay, well, I can require payment due before sending out an order. And if the payment has not been deposited to the bank account, then they won't get the shipment yet. And it's not being mean. It's just, it's an exchange of energy.
Well, it's also, I think that that's pretty much like industry standard as well for goods and shipping. When I had my previous business, you had to apply for terms of 30, 60, 90 days. You know, and you had to submit information about, you know, your credit and that kind of stuff. Like it was a pretty big rigmarole. Right. So just like being blasé about it is not, you know, obviously not working for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And as you raise yourself up, you're also going to raise that other business up. Mm. And it's not only about business, it's about anything in life in general. You know? So approaching that other business and mentioning that you need the invoice taken care of and possibly getting the pay half now and half in 2 weeks, that creates that space for them and allows them to consider themselves and what do they want to achieve for their business and how do they up level for themselves, right? However, the minute that you are clear as to what you want in a respectful way, the minute you express that, you take off some of the stress and pressure that you put on yourself. Yes. Right? So if we're going against what we say we want, we are creating pressure on ourselves and it can be debilitating, can be exhausting. You can get a sore throat because you need to express yourself and you're not doing it. If your heart feels heavy, you could be having problems breathing. You could get a cold. You could get some congestion in your chest. There's multiple things. Depending on how your thoughts are about it, the words you're using to describe it can weigh you down and cause you physical pain. So that's just something, a little bit more food for thought. Mm-hmm. So what's holding you back? And what do you need to do that you know you need to be doing to create success in your life, whatever that success is for you? It could be the laundry, it could be the dishes, it could be an evening out, it could be growing your business exponentially. What is it that you need to be doing right now that's right in front of you that you are adamant that you're not going to be doing that? because you have to get clear on, are you being honest with yourself? Do you really want financial success. Do you really want it? Do you really want it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, for someone else, do you really want to wake up in the morning and not have a sink load of dishes and, sitting there? Do you want to get up and go like, oh my God, I didn't do the laundry yet? Oh. It's like start to get clear on what you need to be doing that you already know you need to be doing. And it can be that thing where you go, you know what, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm throwing the laundry in. I think it was a couple of mornings ago. Yeah, a couple of days ago. I got up in the morning and I was in the bathroom and I thought, oh, laundry, I'm bringing it down. I went downstairs, put the laundry in. It was like threw the laundry in. I did the next thing, the next thing, the next thing before I even started working. And it was like, wow. And I felt so energized. Right. I was on, and it felt good. Today was the same thing. So I put it out there to you. What was your day like yesterday and today? Like when you started off?
Me? Oh, yesterday I just could not wait to hit the ground running. I mean, Monday mornings are my favorite morning, really, because we chat and then I'm like giddy up, ready to go.
Right.
But yesterday morning, I couldn't, like, it 8:30 seemed like forever away. I was just ready to get 8:30 was just way too late for a meeting. AM,
Right.
I'll say.
Right. And you sent me a message and I could feel the energy of it. And it was like
Right.
you just wanted to get going. And all I could think of was, what's my schedule like tomorrow morning? Yeah, okay. So I sent you that message that said, I sense like you're chomping at the bit. You want to get going. And do you want to have the call, tomorrow, which was this morning? And you were like, yes.
Yeah.
Everything shifted for you. And from then, everything starts to flow. So anyone watching, I want you to consider the minute you claim what you want and start taking action, that's how your day will start to unfold. Right? Yesterday was powerful for you.
Yeah, it was super productive, and I got my week planned. Like, I'm feeling really good. I had a really busy weekend and I have a lot of stock to prepare for the next weekend, but I actually am not feeling overwhelmed by it at all. I'm feeling in control of, or on top of, maybe is a better word, on top of what I need to do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, you can say that you're in control too.
Yeah.
The minute you make that decision of what it is you want and you get clear on it and you follow through on it, that's you've got control of what you're doing. And one of the things that I did write it here. What is your emotional state? What's the emotional state you're in? Right. So I'm going to go back for myself this morning, like, as I pondered, what would happen if I just engaged every positive thought I had? I was like, life would be easy. Okay.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, crap. Okay. What is it that I say I want? Okay, what do I need to be doing right now? And when I say, what do I need to be doing? It's, what are the things I want? Because sometimes the things that I want, I need to focus on differently. And it's not hard. It's that I recognize this is what I want. Oh, right. This is what I need to do. And the minute I get that clarity, then it's like everything just starts to flow.
Yeah. And you feel excited. Like, really, that's what it would be for me. Focused, excited. I much better avoid all the distractions. Like, I'm more willing to step away from the social media and step away, in my case, step away from the sink full of dishes and the laundry that needs to be done. Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't sit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, it's funny because when I said that I threw in laundry the other morning, man, I let the laundry wait and wait and wait.
Yeah.
And yet, it's that thing. So engaging every positive thought. The thought that was there for me a couple of days ago was like, I want to get the laundry done.
Mm-hmm.
And my gosh, I did get it done. I got it washed and dried, not folded. I'm
That's close
okay
to
with
you can
that.
wear it now. That's done. That counts in my books.
Right, right. So it's like the minute you engage that excitement, that impulse that is there, it's like the message you sent me. Like I said, I could feel the energy of it, like the movement, the desire to move forward, to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, okay, I don't want. It's like I didn't want to impede on that. I'm here to help you, to feel empowered. I wasn't going to say like, no, our appointment is at 8:30. That's the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. I was like, oh my God, no. And it was
Right.
interesting because what happened for me was the floodgates opened as well. And it's that thing of trusting life is going to unfold exactly the way it needs to. And the minute you say yes to that desire that is right in front of you, the more flow energetically that is there for you, the more, not the more, the stronger the energy that emanates from you.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that's creating more of, I'll call it a positive vortex, where
Yeah.
everything just lines up for you and funnels in. It's in front of you. And there's no thinking about it. It's just there. And you just step into the next thing, the next thing, the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you go for it. I mean, part of me, when you were like, oh, let's book for tomorrow instead. And I was like, well, that's not what the plan was. It's easy to get kind of to block yourself from like, I knew too
Right.
that I did want to keep moving, but was almost like, oh, I don't want to be like that. Whatever that is, not good for
Right.
me. Yeah.
Right. Right. And that's where you delay
Yeah.
your success.
That's right.
That's like not asking a business to pay their invoice, right? You right,
Yeah.
but it's literally it's the same energy. And I'm
Right.
sure that not to poke at you,
I'm like,
but
oh, we're gonna talk about this again, are we? No, I'm
right,
kidding.
right, right. But it's to
Yeah.
show that one thing was a conversation holding the exact same energy as an invoice that's not being paid.
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether it's the laundry, the dishes, the invoice, or the call. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It's what is it for you? What is that thing that you say you want that you keep on delaying, holding yourself back because you've got some kind of friggin' story going on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't. It's the way it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here going, I didn't have any of those friggin' stories going on. However, for me to recognize I was delaying myself and not recognizing there was a story there, I really don't think there was a story there. Not consciously, right? Subconsciously, something is there. However, this is where, I want to share with you, I had to not care what the story was. I had to focus on the desire. What do I want to do? I want to sell this piece of property. I need to sell it. So, what do I need to be doing to make that happen? It's that thing where you dot your I's and cross your T's. It's like, what are the gaps that I need to fill? What are the things that are going to bring this closer together that it's done? I don't have to worry about it. For you, it'll be, yes, it's the invoice.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? It'll be that thing. Now, here's the thing. The minute you address that one thing, the minute I address that one thing, and anyone watching, the minute you address whatever that thing is for you, you don't have that block in front of you anymore. And you're going to be surprised at how everything starts to unfold. And
Yes.
even for me, it's some of the things I've done this morning. It was incredible how other opportunities opened up for me. And I was like, wow, look at that. And I kind of smiled because um, it's that when you know what you need to be doing and you act on it and you feel good about it, let yourself feel good about it. Don't make it
Yeah.
become something you need to do, right? Let it be, this is what I want, and this is what I can do in the moment. This is what I know I can do. You take that step forward, you feel good about it, and then you keep on moving. And it's not about keep on taking action. It's not that vibration. It's that thing of where you know what you need to do, you know what you want. And the minute you take that one step forward, you're already past that one thing. And then what's in front of you isn't as big a deal. And then when you step into that next thing, the thing that's just past that is even less of a deal. However, when you're back here looking over here at what you want and you're in story, no, I'm not going to call them. No, I'm not going to do that. Yes, I want to sell this property, but I'm too busy to get the paperwork together. Oh, I'm too busy to make this phone call. I don't
Right.
feel like doing the laundry. Oh, to hell with the dishes. Whatever stories, whatever your emotional state is back here, while you're looking forward here at where's my hand, at what you want, you're stuck back here. You're not moving.
Right.
And all it takes is one small step. For you, after I shared the benefit of what it could look like for them and how it can take them out of a holding pattern as well, I could hear my languages. I could hear you start to soften and consider that, wow, maybe giving them a call isn't a bad idea. It doesn't have to be, I want my money. It can be,
Right.
I'm starting to make changes in my business, and this is what I'm going to be doing going forward. You have to place your order and make the payment, and then I will send you your product. And the kinder and gentler way, and this is up to whatever it is for you. You can make an offer of paying half of it now, half of it later. And later being 2 weeks from now, being very specific. And that's something you need to do when you're working with goals or dreams or aspirations, whatever it is that you're working towards. Be really clear on what it is for you and speak those words, because the power of your words. There's an author out there, I can't remember her name, and she said that your words are your wand. Now, I always talk about the power of words before I even came across her. And your words are what is going to put you in an emotional state of either success or deficit. They're either going to be depleting to you or invigorating and energizing. So your words are your wand. Be mindful of them. Be mindful of the ones you have in your head. So if you have desires, speak them, think them. Ask yourself, what do I need to be doing right now? What do I know I can be doing? Take whatever step you need to for yourself and keep moving forward. Thoughts, darling?
No, just that I no more than what we had discussed, but just that I always enjoy this one. Well, I shouldn't say when I'm in the middle of it, anything really to do with money is always like a big, and I always wonder, like, what is that? Where is that coming from? Like, what is the story? Yeah, it's still one that I endeavor to uncover.
Right.
Yeah. And earlier you had said to me like, "Oh, it sounds like you've got a stuffy nose." And I was like, "What? No, you're crazy." And actually Adrian had said that to me too earlier. And I had said, "Oh, yeah, you must have." I was like, "Oh, well, Amy thinks that something is surfacing here for me, so that could be it." And he said, "Well, as long as it's not the COVID." So I guess he was pleased.
Right.
I'm like, I don't have time for anything to surface today.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because for me, when you have nasal congestion, and I'm just going to share this quickly. When you have nasal congestion, it's in between, I'm going to say your mouth and this area here, right?
Mhm.
So the eyes or the forehead, you're looking at from a chakra point of view, you're looking at the third eye, which is about how do you see yourself in the future? And your mouth is about voicing. So the frickin' invoice. So where do you see yourself? Where are you not voicing? Because that energy gets trapped right in here, in this area. So any of you out there that have any runny nose is actually good. It's a release of sorts, but where you're sniffing and you have like a postnasal drip that's always there, or a congestion, that has to do with you not speaking what you need to. And the minute you voice that, it shifts your identity. So the third eye, it shifts your identity, and things will shift for you going forward, and it'll make your life easier. So holding patterns create some kind of congestion in our bodies. Now, as I say that, Sunday, I went through this experience where and I did a video on this on my business page, where just a Facebook Live, grabbed my phone. I thought, oh my God, I got to share this with everybody. It's like, hello. and it was my daughter's birthday. She turned 24. Holy crap. And something had happened and she was disappointed. And I don't care, and I've shared this is what I shared in the video. It doesn't matter if she was 4, 14, 24, 34, 54. I don't believe it's going to make a difference. I don't care how old she is. I don't want to see her disappointed. So my brain started working, and I thought, oh, I know what I can do. And I got up my phone, and here I was going, And I shared this with you this morning. Usually when you start a message in Messenger and then you go out of it, when you come back, the message is still typed. It's still there. It had disappeared. And I thought, keep my fingers out of it. Keep myself out of this meddling. Don't do it. And could I say that it was going to be for her benefit? Absolutely. But was it mine to make better? No. So on Sunday, 3 things happened, and I joked in the video I did, everything happens in 3s. Sometimes it does, not all the time. But here it was, one thing where I was going to send a message, and then there was another thing, and I was like, oh, I know how I could make that better. And then I didn't. And then another thing came up, and then I was like, whoa, pull back. I could see that, if you wish, whether it's God, the universe, whatever it is for you, when you've got 3 things happening like that, pay attention and back off. Back off. And because I didn't engage any of those things to make her life better, she addressed one of the things herself Sunday evening. And I stepped back, didn't say a word. And what I saw unfold was incredible. Everything turned out in that one scenario. And then later on in the evening, when I was speaking with her, she shared how something else had turned out. And then last night she was here because it was my husband's birthday. And she shared with me how the other thing turned out for her as well. And I'm like, right. And I'm sharing this with any of you out there that has children, especially adult children, even little children. Just, gosh, I'm like, back off. You know, I was going to say, how can I say this in a nice way? Back off. And I used to say this to a lot of my clients had older children a couple of years ago. And I would say, get off their path. It's not yours. And it's that each and every one of us has stuff going on in our life that is falling in front of us. And we need to address it so we can grow and expand our lives. Our children are no different. They have stuff that is going on. And even when they're little and they want to sing karaoke, whether they know the words or not, they have something that they need to fulfill inside of them. So step back. And it's not always easy, trust me. I had my fingers on my text, no problem. I was there, and then I backed off. And the interesting thing I'll share with you is that for myself, seeing 3 things in a row, and then seeing how the 3 of them all unfolded in a really good way for her that left her feeling positive, uplifted. It was just beautiful to see. I know for myself that I'm less likely to meddle, interfere, whatever those words are we use. I'm less likely to do that. And I'm going to come back to the invoice only because the moment you address that, you're less likely to have that experience or the need to move through an experience like that ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Because you start to feel like, okay, I see this. I understand this differently. I can do this.
Yeah.
The minute you take that step forward, everything starts to unravel. And it unravels in an incredible way because when it's unraveled, you're not tethered. You don't have the tightness, the pressure around you. That gets alleviated. It goes away. So,
right.
All right. So next week, well, not next week. If we're on a call next week, you will be sharing with everyone that you made that call.
Right. Yeah, it'll be all worked out.
Right. And for me and you've got till Friday.
That's right.
Now, about that pressure, I was saying that's going to be relieved.
Right. It's funny because even now, like it's been 12 hours, I guess, since our last call. And it's just maybe a little less. It's just been like, okay, I see differently how it needs to happen.
Right.
And even it was funny because even this morning when you were like, I was so braced against it. Even you're like, I hear a little bit of post-nasal drip. I was like, nope, no, you don't. No. I just like the story, the holding pattern is so strong that I'm just like irritated by all of it. I don't feel that way now, but it's true. It is softening and it's like, okay, I do see the benefit. Yeah. So often we think about some of the worst scenarios, but why can't it be the best scenario? It's more likely to be that. So,
right.
Yeah.
And, it's a thing where I shared the minute you break a holding pattern for yourself by being forthcoming with someone else, it breaks their holding patterns as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that if you feel relief, then energetically it's going to be directed into their life as well, and they'll experience relief of some sort as well. And it might be within the business for them, or it could be in their personal lives. So this is the importance of breaking that that holding pattern and just recognizing, okay, I say this is what I want, and now I have to address those places where I'm not allowing it to happen,
Mhm.
right? I'm building a dam around my desires. I can see them, but I've got a dam in front of me.
All right.
It's time to bring the wall down.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't have anything else. You neither?
Me neither. Nope.
Okay. So I will leave everyone with this thought. I will leave this with you as well. Consider what your life would look like if all you ever focused on were the positive thoughts that came into your awareness. What would it look like if all you ever focused on were the positive thoughts that came into your awareness? All right. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. Huge hugs to you. And who knows what our next conversation is going to be. And I promise you that if I have any insights, I'll be grabbing my phone and I'm going to be sharing them with you. All right. Huge hugs to everyone. Have a absolutely fantastic evening. Bye, everyone.
Bye.